As an example on how to approach a dimensional analysis problem, I like to start with a simple question, and that is, how many seconds are in a year? And when we look at this type of problem, we have to make sure that we use the most accurate information possible. So let's see, what can we start by saying that we know? Well, you might say that there are 365 days in 1 year. Okay, well, though that's completely true, did you know that it's actually more accurate to say that there's 365.25 days in 1 year? Because of leap year, right? Every quarter of a year, we can say that that's the case. Okay, so we've got to get all the way down to seconds. So you might say something like, well, there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. Great. There's another one we can use. Well, how many minutes are in an hour? Can we do that? We can say that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, that's an HR abbreviation. Then how many hours are in a day? Well, there's 24 hours in 1 day, right? So now let's start with what we know. We're trying to get to seconds, right? This is your unknown. You know that you're starting with 1 year. And by the way, guys, it is very vital that you know where you're starting. Sometimes that's hard to figure out. In this case, it's not completely clear because you've got to think about, there's no number right in front of a year. So that makes it a little bit harder sometimes. That's okay. Just think about, what do you want to end up with? What you want to end up with is your unknown, and what you're starting with is your known. So let's go on down here, and I'm going to change pen colors, and let's start this problem. So I start with 1 year, and I look for something that is going to give me out of the year and into something else. Well, guess what? I've got this. So I could say that there's 365.25 days per year. Oh, wait, does that work? It does, because I cancel out years, and now I'm in the unit of days. So now I'm going to look for another inequality that'll take my days and cancel it out. So this guy will do that, right? And so here we go. We can say that 1 day is 24 hours. Good. So by doing that, I can cancel out days. So now we need something that deals with hours. And here we go. We've got 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I put 1 hour down below and 60 minutes up above. How do I know to put the hour down below? Well, because I want to be able to cancel that out. And finally, I need a way to convert minutes to seconds, and I have that by saying for every 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. Okay, now you get out your calculator and do some handy dandy work, right? So when you put this in your calculator, you multiply by everything that's on top and divide by everything that's on bottom, which means that you would say 365 times 24 times 60 times 60. And your answer should be 31,557,600. Well, that's a lot of numbers, right? Well, and it's hard to tell sort of how to do significant figures in this particular case because these are all exact numbers. The big point is here, so I'm not going to go into significant figures here, but this is how you approach a problem like this. Say that you have other information that is also at your disposal, which you have all the time, by the way. Let's say that we know that there's approximately 30 days in 1 month. Well, is that as accurate of information as we can use? No. Some days or some months have 28 days, others have 31. So that's why I chose to use the 365.25 days in a year. But this information is still out there for you, and sometimes that can be completely overwhelming. So how do you know what information is useful versus not? Let your units guide you. The more you use your units, the more they're going to help you. If you don't write down the units, you're going to get confused really fast. I say this time and time again and watch people try to struggle without writing down their units. And I promise you that it's going to be so much easier if you just write down your units. Oh, and for a side note, be careful what you abbreviate. Know what those are, like MIN. Notice I don't put M because M is meter. So make sure you know what your abbreviations are and what's appropriate as well. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you.